One day, after a particularly harsh punishment, Ada's powers erupted in a way that no one had ever seen before. The wind howled through the village, shaking the trees and bending the grass. The ground trembled beneath their feet, and the air grew thick with energy. Ada, unable to contain the emotions that had built up inside her, wept. Her tears fell like rain, and with each drop, a blessing and a curse followed. The villagers watched in awe and fear as the earth itself seemed to respond to her sorrow. The village elders, who once feared Ada's powers, now saw the truth. She was not just the daughter of a goddess, she was a living embodiment of divine power. Tell me in the comment section where you are watching from and what time is it for you right now. And if you enjoy stories like this, please make sure you like and subscribe for more interesting videos. Thank you. In the heart of the village of Umoza, nestled between rolling hills and deep forests, the people lived in hope. For generations, they had prayed to the gods for a miracle. Their village, though rich in culture and history, lacked one essential gift, a child born of the goddess of the land. It was said that the gods had forgotten them, their prayers falling on deaf ears. Year after year, the people hoped for a sign, a promise that the gods would not abandon them. Yet, despite their hopes and offerings, no child came. The elders of Umoza often spoke of the prophecy passed down through generations that the goddess would one day bless the land with a child, a gift of unimaginable power and wisdom. This child would be a bridge between the gods and the people, someone who could heal the sick, calm the storms, and bring prosperity to the land. But as the years stretched on, the village began to lose hope. The dreams of that blessed child, once so vivid, began to fade like the stars at dawn. But then, on a day when the village was shrouded in silence, a miracle occurred. The heavens themselves seemed to hold their breath as Ada, the daughter of the goddess, was born. It was said that her mother, the goddess of the land, had died immediately after giving birth, leaving the newborn girl alone in the world. The village, still in shock from the death of their goddess, could scarcely believe their eyes as the infant was laid in the arms of her father. The birth of Ada was not just a blessing, it was a sign from the gods that they had not been forgotten. Ada's father, once overjoyed by the birth of his daughter, had lost his beloved wife, the goddess. In his grief, he quickly remarried, seeking solace in a new woman. His new woman, a woman who could not see the divine power that flowed through Ada, felt only resentment. The sight of Ada, so beautiful, so strong, reminded her of the powers that she would never possess. Jealousy began to fester in her heart, and as Ada grew, so did the hatred from her stepmother. Ada was no ordinary child. She was gifted with powers that were beyond human understanding. From the moment she opened her eyes, the village could feel the weight of her divine heritage. She could heal with a mere touch, her hands glowing with a soft light as the sick and wounded found solace in her presence. The spirits of the land whispered to her, guiding her steps and teaching her the secrets of the earth. The winds would calm when she called them, and the rain would fall in the fields whenever she wept. But these gifts, though a blessing to many, only fueled the bitterness of Ada's stepmother. She could not bear to see Ada's beauty or the awe that the villagers felt for the girl. Ada's stepmother began to punish her for even the slightest infraction, hoping to break her spirit. But Ada, though young, was strong. She knew that she was not just a girl, she was the daughter of a goddess, and her powers were meant for something greater. As the years passed, Ada's powers grew stronger. She became known as the priestess of Umoza, a young woman who held the wisdom of the gods in her eyes. When she cried, it was said that the heavens wept with her. Her tears held more than sorrow, they carried a warning. Those who caused her pain, whether through harsh words or cruel actions, soon found themselves facing great misfortune. The crops in their fields would wither, their animals would fall sick, and quarrels would erupt in their homes. It was as though the earth itself was punishing those who wronged her. Ada's stepmother, unable to control her, grew more and more vicious. She would punish Ada for the smallest of infractions, hoping to break her will. But Ada remained strong, her heart filled with a deep understanding of her destiny. She knew her powers were meant to heal and protect the people of Umoza, not to cause harm. But there were limits to what she could control, and the cruelty of her stepmother pushed her to the brink. One day, after a particularly harsh punishment, Ada's powers erupted in a way that no one had ever seen before. The wind howled through the village, shaking the trees and bending the grass. The ground trembled beneath their feet, and the air grew thick with energy. Ada, unable to contain the emotions that had built up inside her, wept. Her tears fell like rain, and with each drop, a blessing and a curse followed. The villagers watched in awe and fear as the earth itself seemed to respond to her sorrow. The village elders, who once feared Ada's powers, now saw the truth. She was not just the daughter of a goddess, she was a living embodiment of divine power, a force of nature herself. The elders recognized her as the chosen one, the one who would either bring prosperity or ruin to the village. Her heart, they believed, held the key to the future of Umoza. But Ada, though aware of the weight of her gifts, did not yet understand their full extent. She knew she was destined for something greater, but what that destiny was, she could not yet fathom. The village, once filled with hope, now stood at a crossroads. Ada's powers, both a blessing and a curse, held the potential to change the course of history. But the path ahead was uncertain, and Ada knew that the greatest challenge of all lay in learning to control the power that flowed through her. As the days passed, Ada's heart grew heavier. She had lived her entire life in the shadow of her mother's legacy, and the burden of that legacy weighed on her soul. She could feel the eyes of the villagers upon her, their hopes and fears resting on her shoulders. But her stepmother's cruelty continued, and Ada knew that she could not stay in the village forever. She had to find the answers to the questions that haunted her. In the quiet of the night, Ada made a decision. She would leave Umoza. She would journey to the ancient temple where her mother's spirit resided. There, she hoped to find the answers she sought, the key to understanding her powers and learning how to use them for good. She knew the road ahead would be long and dangerous, but she was determined to find her place in the world. And so, with a heavy heart and a spirit filled with purpose, Ada set out on her journey. As she left the village behind, she could feel the weight of the gods' gaze upon her. She was not just the daughter of a goddess, she was a force of nature, a living testament to the power of the gods themselves. But little did Ada know, her journey would not be one of simple discovery. Along the way, she would encounter new allies, wise shamans, animal guardians, and even a prince who believed in her. But she would also face enemies, those who sought to control her, those who feared her powers, and those who would stop at nothing to destroy her. And so, Ada's story began, a story of power, of destiny, and of a young woman who would change the fate of her world. But her true journey was just beginning, and the path ahead was filled with both light and darkness. Would she learn to control her powers, or would they consume her? Only time would tell. But as Ada journeyed deeper into the unknown, one question lingered in her heart. Was she the savior her people had been waiting for, or the harbinger of their doom? The answer lay ahead.